Okay, we're going to get into that, but there's some things I need to touch on before we get into that. So, your parents were both pilots, and you said they were functioning alcoholics. I'm not going to point out anybody in my personal family, but I know what a functioning alcoholic looks like. When you were younger, did you know that your parents were functioning alcoholics, or did you just think mom and dad drink a lot?
I don't remember thinking about their drinking a lot until I was 7. And
Hmm.
then I started really paying attention to why are they always drinking that and why do they act funny? And then it was around that time I remember picking up a glass of what I thought was orange juice and
Hmm.
taking a swig of it. And, it's 8 o'clock in the morning and it was a screwdriver. It was like straight vodka. So then, that was the moment my innocence around it was just shattered. I was like, oh shit, this is a problem. This is real. And even as a child, I knew I was kind of on my own, if that makes sense. Like it was a
Okay, yeah.
real reckoning moment for me. But yeah, both my parents were wildly successful in that industry, aviation.
Hmm.
It's so common. A lot of them are former military. They have multiple days off in a row and then they go work. So there's a
Hmm.
lot of things I think that contribute to it. Plus, they're just very high achievers, dopamine,
Yeah.
junkies, adrenaline junkies. But yeah, they always held it together. And, I had a beautiful home to live in and my parents were at all my softball games. And so in a lot of ways, they really showed up for me in ways that I appreciate. And there was this darkness that stole a lot of moments and connection. And it was very, very difficult and confusing. And then, of course, most children do one of two things. They either never touch it or they become what they hate. And by age 12, I started drinking at a very addicted level, and I was a full blown alcoholic by the time I was like 13 or 14.
So, do you think that that happened because at the same time you're modeling, so you're entering in that industry? But so obviously there's some connection between the two, but you have alcohol readily available in your home. Which was a bigger, if one was bigger than the other, contributor to your addiction to alcohol? Was
Well,
it the home, the readily availability, or was it entering in modeling?
yeah, I don't want to blame the modeling. I was already one of those kids that felt I didn't belong.
Hmm.
I was raised as an only child. I was really lonely. I was very isolated in a lot of ways from a lot of my friends. It came down to, oh, we don't trust your mom because she's drinking, so we're not going to let our kids
Mm.
go play over
Wow.
there. So I was dealing with a lot of that. And then, two, I also believe some of it was my genetics. I just,
Hmm.
I was cursed,
Hmm.
truly, as far as the addictive gene. But then also seeing my parents cope that way, like that was some of it was that social learning and then the availability of it. But then just push all of that nonsense out of the way. And it comes down to me because I went through a moment of heartache. I went upstairs. I made the worst jungle juice you could ever make, just pouring gin, vodka, everything into this water bottle. And I just started chugging it. And I
Mm.
was like, I'm home.
Mm.
And so I can't even blame my circumstances, my genetics, my upbringing, anything. The bottom line is when I had that first real drink, it it gave me the relief that I had been so desperately trying to find through a relationship or modeling or whatever, right? It was that warm hug. It was that embrace that I needed so much. It filled that God shaped hole for me. And so that's what happened.
If you like that clip, go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to catch up on all of our latest content. Don't forget to hit the notification button when you do subscribe so you can get updated every time we release content. We release content every day, whether it's an actual show or clips from the shows. So go ahead and subscribe, like, comment. Also, don't forget our Patreon page where you can find our Talking Straight-ish and After Hours Uncensored episodes. That's patreon.com/unsolicited perspectives. But once again, thank you again for listening to Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, and I'm going to catch you next time. I'll holla.